Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. I welcome you all to our online class, and in this video we are going to learn about the accessory ducts and accessory glands present in our female reproductive system. Along with that, we are going to see about the female external genitalia and mammary glands. Okay, the first one is the accessory glands. Okay, accessory ducts. And first we'll see accessory ducts, then we'll move on to the glands. So accessory ducts already we have seen it in case of male. Ducts are nothing but the tubes connected with our reproductive system. Okay, in female reproductive system, it is connected with various accessory ducts. Okay, which is helping in the process of this reproduction. Okay, so what are the ducts connected in this female reproductive system? When you see, it includes three important things, that is fallopian tube, uterus, and vagina. Okay, these are the three ducts present in female reproductive system. Okay, the first one is the fallopian tube. So this fallopian tube, okay, actually commonly we used to call it as uterine tubes. Okay, they are known as uterine tubes, and otherwise we can call it as oviduct. Okay, we can also call it as oviduct. So uterine tubes, oviducts, and fallopian tubes. Okay, you can use any word for indicating this tubular system. Okay, and here in this picture, okay, we'll show this fallopian tube. Okay, this is actually the complete structure of female reproductive system, and this is this part from this to this. Okay, this tube we will call it as fallopian tube. What is the importance of fallopian tube? When you see this fallopian tube, we can call it as site of fertilization. Okay, site of fertilization. What is fertilization? Fertilization is nothing but it is a process of fusion of ovum with sperm. Okay, so that process we'll call it as fertilization, and that fertilization is taking place in this tube. Okay, that is oviduct. Okay, and this one, okay, this tubular structure, okay, it is having a funnel shaped end near to this ovary. Okay, and this funnel shaped end of this oviduct, we will call it as infundibulum. Okay, this funnel shaped structure, it is called infundibulum, and this infundibulum is having at its end, it will be having a finger-like projections like this. Okay, finger-like projections like this, and these finger-like projections we used to call it as fimbriae. These finger-like projections are called fimbriae. Okay, what is the importance of this fimbriae? When you see, the fimbriae catch an ovum after the process of ovulation. Ovulation is nothing but the ovary wall rupture to release that ovum. Okay, and this process we will call it as ovulation, and at the time of ovulation, this fimbriae will be having a wavering movement like this. Okay, because of this wavering movement, automatically the released ovum will be sucked by this oviduct. So it enters this oviduct, and this is how the ovum, that oocyte, secondary oocyte, okay, it is passing through this oviduct. And this oviduct, the inner walls of oviduct, it is made up of a special type of epithelium called ciliated epithelium. That is the epithelium which is present along with cilia. Okay, that is a small air like structure. Okay, and this ciliary movement helps in the movement of this secondary oocyte inside this fallopian tube. Okay, and this is how it is taken inside this fallopian tube, and this wider part, okay, which is present next to this fimbriae, this part of this oviduct, we will call it as ampulla. We will call this as ampulla, and this tube, the distal portion of this fallopian tube, okay, it is called as isthmus. This is called isthmus. Okay, and the region between this ampulla and isthmus, we used to call it as ampullary isthmic junction. Okay, ampullary isthmic junction, and this is the place and where that fertilization is taking place. Okay, this is a place where that fusion of male gamete with female gamete is taking place, and that is the importance of this fallopian tube. Okay, so this is about our fallopian tube. So the next tubular structure which is present in female reproductive system is uterus. Okay, so this uterus we used to commonly call it as womb. Okay, and this uterus, exactly this picture is showing, okay, it is exactly resembling the inverted pear shape. Okay, inverted pear shape. And importance of this uterus is at the time of gestation, okay, the developing embryo fetus, it is protected, well protected inside this sac. Okay, and this is acting as a nutrient rich environment for the developing fetus. And structurally, okay, when you see what is the importance of this uterus, we used to call this uterus as a site of implantation. Okay, I'll show you in the next slide why it is called site of implantation. And first one, location of our uterus. Okay, so see in this picture, actually this is our uterus, and this uterus is located in between the rectum. Okay, this structure is called rectum. Rectum is nothing but the distal portion of our large intestine. Okay, this is called rectum, and this structure is called bladder, that is urinary bladder. So it is present in between this rectum and urinary bladder, behind the bladder and in front of the rectum. Okay, it is a tube which measures about 8 centimeter in its length. And structurally, when you see, this is okay, the diagrammatic view of our uterus. This uterus consists of some parts. Okay, this portion of our uterus, it is called body. Okay, which is otherwise known as corpus of uterus. Okay, and this narrow uterine tube, okay, this narrow uterine tube, it is called internal ostium. In some places it would be given as internal hose. Hose stands for ostium. Okay, and there should be space. Okay, or internal hose, and which is followed by the cervical canal, which we are simply calling it as cervix, which opens with external ostium. So this is actually the parts of our uterus. Okay, this external ostium leads to the next tube, which is called vagina. Okay, and next, when you see the layers of our uterus, okay, actually uterus composed of 3 important layers. Okay, 3 important layers, that is perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. Perimetrium is the outer layer. Okay, and myometrium, it is our middle layer, and endometrium is inner layer. Okay, perimetrium, it is very thin, which is acting as an outer covering, and this myometrium, it contains, okay, it is somewhat thick. Okay, and it contains smooth muscles. Okay, and these smooth muscles are under the control of our brain and endocrine system, and this smooth muscles, okay, it controls the uterine contraction at the time of parturition, that is at the time of delivering the baby. And these myometrium, that is the muscular movement contraction of this myometrium, is responsible for that. It is responsible for expelling the baby out at the time of delivery. And inner layer is called endometrium, that is very important, and this is a mucosal lining which is enriched with blood capillaries, and this mucosal lining undergoes cyclic changes every month. Okay, once after the puberty, and this cyclic changes only we used to call it as menstrual cycle. Okay, these cyclic changes are called menstrual cycle. And see this picture, it is showing that perimetrium, it is the outer layer, this outer layer, and myometrium, this thick muscular layer, smooth muscles, and this endometrium, this layer is called endometrium. This is about the structure of our uterus. Then next, functions of uterus. What is the importance of uterus in the process of this reproduction, when you see, it is to prepare a bed, okay, a soft bed that is which is composed of uterine tissues, mucus, and blood capillaries. And what is the importance of this bed prepared inside this uterus, endometrium? When you see this uterus, we can call it as site of implantation. What is implantation? Implantation is nothing but once after the fertilization is over, the zygote, okay, it undergoes mitotic division. As it is undergoing that mitotic division, it moves from the fallopian down to the uterus. Once it is reaching that uterus, that developing embryo get implanted into the walls of our uterus. This process, implanted in the sense, started embedding into the inner walls of our uterus, and this process we will call it as implantation. Okay, so this is acting as a site of that implantation, and it is nourishing the development. Once after the implantation, okay, the blood supply starts from the mother's body to the fetal, that is the embryo. So in this way, it is nourishing the developing embryo. And myometrium, it is responsible for expelling the fetus at the time of delivery, and it provides blood flow to the ovaries, and also it is giving structural support to the surrounding organs. Whatever organs are there in the pelvic region, this is also acting as some structural support. So this is about the functions of our uterus. Okay, so this is about the structure of our uterus. The next, okay, next we are going to see about the next duct, okay, which is nothing but the vagina. Okay, vagina and cervix. So this is our uterus. Uterus continues with the mouth of the uterus, which we are calling it as cervix, and that cervix, which with internal hose, external hose, it opens into vagina. Okay, this vagina, it measures about 10 centimeter in length. It is a muscular tube. Okay, it is a fibromuscular tube, okay, which measures about 10 centimeter in its length. 10 centimeter in its length. Okay, it extends from external hose along the pelvis, okay, and it opens in vulva. Vulva is nothing but the female external genitalia. And what is the use of this vagina? When you say this vagina is acting as a copulatory organ and birth canal. Okay, this is about the importance of vagina. Okay, so this is about the ducts present in female reproductive system. Next, we are going to see about the glands, accessory glands present in our female reproductive system. And the accessory glands, we can call them as vestibular glands. Yes, vestibular glands. And these glands are of two types, that is major or greater vestibular gland, major or greater vestibular gland, and then minor or lesser vestibular gland. Okay, and the first one we'll see about this minor or lesser vestibular gland, and this minor glands are named paraurethral gland, or it is known as Skene's gland. Okay, paraurethral gland or Skene's gland. And which is the location of this gland? When you see, it is located on each side of urethral meatus. Okay, urethral meatus, which is present just above the vagina, that is where urethral orifice, urethral opening. So on either side of this urethral opening, these glands are located, and these glands are secreting mucus, which is lubricating the external genitalia. Okay, so this is the importance of this Skene's gland, that is minor vestibular gland. The next one is our major vestibular gland, and this major vestibular gland is called Bartholin's gland. Okay, it is called Bartholin's gland, which is commonly called vulvovaginal glands. Yes, vulvovaginal glands or paravaginal glands. Okay, and what is the location of these glands? When you see the glands, okay, it is situated on each inner side of vagina, inner lining of vagina. Each side pair of glands will be present, and this is also secreting mucus, which is lubricating. Actually, this gland, Bartholin's gland, similar to the bulbourethral gland present in our male reproductive system. So this is also lubricating the external vulva. Okay, so this is about the accessory glands present in our female reproductive system. Next, we are going to see about the female external genitalia. Okay, so external genitalia, it includes all these organs. Okay, actually, commonly, collectively, we will call this structure as vulva, which includes mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, bulb of vestibule, clitoris, vestibula of vagina, and urethra, then paraurethral and other vestibular glands. So these are the parts of our female external genitalia. Okay, so this genitalia, mons pubis, it is a collection of fat overlying the pubic region, which is surrounded by skin and pubic hair. Okay, then labia majora. Labia majora is outer lips of genitals, and labia minora, which is present inner to that labia majora, that is called inner lips of our genitals. Okay, clitoris, this labia minora, wait, I'll show you. This labia, so this is mons pubis, and this is the outer lip, which we are calling it as labia majora, and the inner lips are called labia minora, and this labia minora anteriorly it joins to form a rectal organ called clitoris. And okay, this labia majora, it surrounds our vaginal opening, and this labia minora, here it joins to form the structure called fourchette, which is having various sebaceous glands. Okay, and this vagina, it is surrounded by, okay, it's not surrounded, it is covered by a fold of mucous membrane, which we are calling it as hymen. So hymen covers the posterior margin of the vaginal orifice. Okay, so this is about the female external genitalia, and these are the organs present in the reproductive organs present in abdominal cavity. And already I told you, the mammary glands, the thorax region of each female contains pair of mammary glands, and these mammary glands involved in taking care of that young ones. And so this is included in the reproductive system of female, and this is the structure of mammary glands, and these mammary glands are modified sweat glands. Okay, and these sweat glands will be having a projection, which is, we are calling it as nipple. Around that there will be a dark area, pigmented area, which we are calling it as areola, and this areola will have sebaceous glands, and it is having a glandular, it is composed of glandular tissues, and these glandular tissues contains 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Okay, you can see these structures are called mammary lobes. Okay, here it is shown only 5 to 6 like this. It will be having 15 to 20 mammary lobes, and these mammary lobes contains a milk secreting glands. You can see small ball like structures, milk secreting glands, which we are calling it as alveoli. Okay, which we are calling it as alveoli, and this alveoli opens into duct. Okay, you can see, this alveoli opens into a minute duct. Okay, these ducts are called as mammary tubules. Okay, these ducts are called mammary tubules. Okay, and these tubules of each lobe join together to form a mammary duct. Okay, to form a mammary duct. And this mammary duct near this nipple, okay, it is having some expansion. Can you see this expanded portion? And this expanded portion, we will call that as lactiferous sinus, or else otherwise it is called mammary ampulla. It is called mammary ampulla. Okay, and what is the importance of this mammary ampulla? When you see, when alveoli is secreting the milk with the help of this tubules and duct, okay, it is reaching this ampulla, and it is stored there in that ampulla for some time, and all the ducts from this ampulla together, it is forming a lactiferous duct. And when the baby is sucking through this lactiferous duct from the ampulla, the milk will enter the mouth of that baby. So this is how these mammary glands involved in taking care of young ones. So This is about the organs comes under the female reproductive system. Thank you, children.